لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد رحمة للعالمين. So I asked the question, or I made a rhetorical, perhaps a joke, that I was meditating the whole time, right? When we were trying to set up the camera, the screen, and the lighting as a joke. But was it a joke? Right? You don't have to answer that for me. Maybe I don't have to answer that. But if you're being intentional in whatever you do, and it takes a lot of kind of struggle or activity to do so, then meditation is an activity for you, if that makes sense. If you are intentional and you reach a state of consciousness or a state of being, not really reach, but just a state occurs, a state of beingness. You sense a state of beingness. And then meditation for you is a state that you can come out of and come back into. And that's a beautiful matter. But so meditation then means that for you, right? You see how for one person, meditation is an activity of struggling to actually be intentional, even with the most little things, that of simply sitting and being present as you sit, even simply for yourself, which certainly takes intentional energy, or the energy of intention and attention to the intention, right? And once one practices that enough, there may be an opening to a state of being, a state or a sense of beingness that's conscious, but has less, effort involved in being conscious. If this makes sense, something perhaps most of you have tasted to some degree in meditation. In that regard, meditation as an intentional practice is a state of being, for you. In other words, you have awakened a state of being in your meditation, or meditation is a state of being. Right? This makes sense. And perhaps for others, meditation is discovered to be what you actually are always. So therefore, the activity or the act to struggle to be in a state of mujahada to get into meditation is no longer required, even if it's needed very, very so often, just very little. And meditation as a state of being is not really a state of being that you come in, out, you come into and out of, but rather it is discovered to actually be your most open, aware state of being, or your own being, your natural state, which isn't really a state that you go into and out of, because you have discovered it's actually your natural state. It's what you really are. So meditation has all of these effects. So I hope that's helpful in understanding that. And usually the meditator, the one who practices meditation in any form, has tasted to some degree the first and the second kind of aspects or modes of meditation that we just discussed, but may have not tasted this, this other aspect or mode of meditation that I'm calling your underlying nature. That actually, your conscious presence is your nature. It's what in Islamic language or in theological language we would call your spiritual nature. The nature of spirit is pure being and pure consciousness. So if that's what the spirit is, then meditation may help you return to your underlying nature. But because that nature is veiled, covered over, ignored by our internal conditioning, our internal mindset of multiple, array of thoughts and thinking and feelings and imaginings, it may be hard to settle down the mind that superimposes itself upon our soul. so that we become more aware of this underlying nature of spirit, of the ruh, that is by its definition ontologically, if you will, and epistemologically, in pure being and pure knowing. This is in Islamic and all religious teachings what the spirit is. Its nature is pure being and pure knowing. So if that is your underlying nature, actually, as it is in Islamic teachings, that we come from the ruh, that human consciousness derives itself from the realm of spirit, or from the nature of spirit, capital S, which comes from God, then a simple or very profound returning to your own beingness, a sense of beingness, is a touching somehow of the spirit, of your spiritual nature, the nature of spirit, which can be found at the center of your being and in the essence of your knowing as the heart, what Islamic spiritual teachings would call the qalb, right, the heart. So meditation can help us return there, or to verify that that is our underlying nature. And in fact, we are always there, but we seem to superimpose things upon it that then become identified with what we are. That's the subtle nature of ruh. That's the latifa, the subtlety that is the ruh. So this is one of the beauties of meditation, that it helps us um, discover, or as in uncover, as in unveil, our inmost nature, that's actually always present, but it wasn't recognized until it was. That it was always there.
لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا الله